Hello and welcome to the Awaken Feminine podcast. I'm your host, KaKi Lee, a mindset coach and healer who's on a mission to share the love and wisdom of inspiring women from around the world who have gone through adversity and turned their pain into purpose. Today, I'm delighted to be interviewing personal transformation mentor Paola Frias, who I know who has so much love and wisdom to share with us today. Do I have you there, Paola?
Yes. Hi. Nice
Welcome,
to be here
beautiful.
too. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
joining me. I'm so excited to interview you. So before we jump in and find out more about you and your journey, can you just share with us a bit more about you, what you do, and where you're joining me from?
Sure. Well, I'm from Peru, currently in Peru as well. I'm a transformational coach, and my mission is to help as many people as possible find their purpose, find their joy, find that reason for living that sometimes we lack because of everything that's going on in the world. So it's my passion also to be of service and help to others, to help them through that journey of self-discovery, and it's with self-love and everything around it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Yay. That's so cool. It's just so beautiful for you to serve, to help people find their purpose, because I know probably on your journey that was what you had to find yourself as well. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's dive in now and see where it takes us. So, Paola, can you share with us your journey from, say, before you became a coach to now being your personal transformation mentor? So that journey
Yeah.
from what you were doing before to now.
Yeah, sure. So it didn't start off. I wasn't born thinking, oh, this is what I'm gonna do, right? I actually, for a long time, I've always wondered what my passion is, what my talents were, because I would see most of my friends that they had really outward talents, like they were singers, they were performers, they were artists, and I can't even draw, right? So
I can't either. It's
I,
okay.
yeah. So I would, like, growing up, I would always have that. I always had that question behind me, like, what is it that I'm good at? And at some point, I wanted to be a journalist because I love people. At some point, I wanted to be a chef because I love cooking. But I'm a person that kind of just gets bored very easily. So then I would start something, and then I was like, this isn't for me. So then I think I went through life maybe not pursuing my passion. I knew that I liked people, I liked serving. So I studied hotel and hotel management. I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to be so full of people. And I love the whole process of just meeting people from all over the world and talking. But things turn out totally different. And I ended up working in a mining industry.
Very
Where I
different.
had to, yeah, completely opposite. So I had to start learning a whole different language, a whole different way of communicating, and it was very tedious. Actually, my boss was Australian, and it was so funny. Yeah, he was from Perth,
Oh,
and he
really?
had this accent. Yes, I couldn't understand him at first. I'm like, "What are you trying to say?" He's like, "What are you trying to say?"
It's the Aussie accent.
Yeah, for the accent, and I was like, "Oh wow, we're gonna have some fun here," but it was a whole learning experience. It's not like I always grew up and I lived in Peru. Actually, part of my work and my way of trying to discover who I was in my earlier years led me to travel. So I was in Bolivia, I've been to Brazil, I lived in Chile, and kind of just had that adventurous side of me. So then I started working in the mining industry, and I was like, no, this is not really what I like. And the years go by, and you're just satisfied, and you're okay, but you're not really thriving. You're not really living. And I just felt a little bit stuck. But, you know, that feeling of like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just didn't, it wasn't as strong for me to start doing something about it. And then I started making some decisions. I got involved with this in a relationship. And I think that was my breaking point. Sometimes relationships are our best teachers.
Yeah.
I got involved in this relationship, which I thought was good at first. You know, I thought, oh my gosh, this is a man that he loves me so much. And trying to put that insecurity of what I'm going to do and putting that into, oof, I found this person. Now he's going to kind of help me get through those feelings of not knowing what my purpose is, right?
Yeah.
So I once again put all that power and my energy into this relationship, which started being very time consuming, absorbing. It became very toxic. It became very also physical. And I didn't understand what was going on. I thought, I don't deserve this. I'm a good person. I'm trying to help this person. Why is he treating me this way?
Yeah.
Right? And I didn't accept, or I couldn't face the fact that there's times in your life that things happen and you just have to put closure and move on. But my stubborn self kept telling me, you can solve this. This is something that, you know, you don't walk out of relationships. You're stronger than this. You can forgive. You can do that. And I'm like, my ego was so strong. I was like, yes, I'm the savior here and I'm going to do everything I can. And of course I love myself, but you know, I love him too. And I need to save him and I need to change him. Like a total delusion. And little by little, from wanting to thrive and be happy and help others, I felt like my energy kept going down and dying, and I just became so unhappy and irritable, and everything that life was bringing my way, I was so mad because I was so angry at this person or this situation that I had put myself in, but I didn't want to admit it was my responsibility. And I just became depressed, not even only with towards him, but my whole environment, the people around me. I wasn't a fun person to be around. I was moody, I was grumpy, I was snappy. And whenever I would react like that, I would get upset. Like, oh, why am I acting this way? And it was a cycle of self-sabotage, of not accepting myself and then feeling guilty for acting that way. So it's something that I know that I'm sure a lot of people can identify when we're in a relationship that consumes us, and we just lose ourselves. We lose ourselves because we have given that power to somebody else. And by the time we realize, what am I doing, can be like eye-opening, but also very scary.
Yeah.
And that's where I was at. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm tolerating all these things in my life, and what am I doing? Right? But you don't want to face it. It's too difficult because it's going to take you to make you take decisions. And those decisions are very scary because probably is walking away, doing something that you don't want to because you already feel so comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable being uncomfortable. I was like, okay, I'm unhappy, but I know my drill. I know how to behave. I know how to react towards this. I know I'm not happy, but I know I can deal with this shit.
Yeah.
And I think my turning point was that after trying to put up with so much of the cheating and emotional abuse, physical abuse, and this, I was like, what am I doing? You know, I finally went on a trip. I always wanted to go to Spain, Barcelona, and I thought, yes, this is gonna make me happy. But then I went. Actually, I had gone on a trip to Switzerland, and then he went back, and so I stayed in Spain by myself to think about what I really want in my life. And is I'm in Spain, in the place that I really always wanted to be. I could not be happy. I was crying the whole time. I was miserable. I would see people pass by and I felt like the observer. I wasn't part of the movie. And this feeling of, if I don't do something about it, I'm literally going to die because it's hurting me so much, not only in my emotions, but physically, that I can't keep doing this. And I don't know how, but whenever I tell this part of the story, it's like I kind of relive it because I don't even know how I found that courage to say enough is enough and really close that chapter, because I had been in this cycle of, we break up, we make up, we break up, we make up, and we're gonna be fine, you know, and this is serious this time, but it's not, because your mind says no, and I'm just gonna do this, and we're gonna get back together, and everything's gonna be the same. And to make it very definite and say, no, I can't go back anymore, I have to make it definite, was an inner strength that I knew I had to, and I couldn't go back. And that's the beginning of where I started to feel, to make that decision. Okay, I'm leaving, I'm moving. I have to let go of everything. The people that I thought were my friends, it was also like a really disappointing, because loyalty, that's where I realized that there were a lot of people that were not loyal, that were just there because, you know, they wanted to take advantage, but they didn't really care about me. So aside from the breakup, having to deal with, you know, losing my job, because at that time I was also working with him because he was also in the mining industry, losing friends, losing wherever I was living, and losing myself and my identity, it was a little bit too much and overwhelming for me. And there were some days I thought, I'm not going to make it. I really am not going to make it. I literally have to take it 1 minute at a time. And even 1 minute was a little too much for me. It was like 10 seconds at a time, 1 second at a time, because it's like a drug. It's a drug that you've been used to taking. You know it's bad for you. And to cleanse yourself is the same, and actually scientifically it's the same cell that we use to try to detox or get rid of drugs, right? So sometimes it's like anxiety, you don't sleep, there's that guilt, the anger, the frustration, you want to get back at them, you feel so betrayed and everything, right? And the worst part was that I would see him and he was happy. You know, he had already gotten a girlfriend and this, and I'm like,
how dare him?
But now that I look back, I think it was the best thing that happened to me. He was my teacher, and this is what I had to go through in order to find myself, in order to give the attention back to that little voice that kept telling me, what are you doing with your life? What are you doing? Who are you? And I had been giving that attention and energy to a relationship that wasn't serving me. So that led me to go to LA also. Paola the adventurer. I need to find myself.
Go around the world.
Yeah, go around the world. I was willing to do whatever it took. I was like, I have to figure myself out, because I can't be living like this anymore. This anxiety of this depression, this anger. And I went to LA speaking, and whoever's been there in LA knows that in LA you find everything that you're looking for, you know, good and bad or whatever it is that you're into, that's where you find it. But then sometimes that also can overwhelm you because there's a lot of input and you have to do this and the other. So I became even a little bit more confused of what I wanted to do. And then I started going through process and mentors that were not aligned to what I was looking for. But I was so desperate to find myself that also became disappointing. Like, you're going to make this amount of money, you're going to be here. And I would sign up, and all of a sudden that disappointment because I wasn't working on the inner part.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to understand that the journey always begins inside. And it's not the outside. It's not what anybody's offering you. If you're not good within yourself, you can be in the most beautiful place in the world and still be sad, frustrated, disappointed, and miserable.
Yeah.
Um,
So then,
so
So going from this toxic relationship, leaving it, I mean, I'm sure a lot of women, including myself, resonate with your story, because so many of us have been in those kind of relationships where we're just codependent on the other person and our ego refuses to let us leave. And it is an addiction. You're addicted to that comfort zone where you're uncomfortable, as you were talking about. So did you, going now, then you're starting on your inner work. Did you have a spiritual awakening or aha moment that then led you down this path to becoming a transformation mentor?
yes. So, and while I was in LA, I was searching, right? And there was this, and I would always like sign up for all this workshops and this and the other, and I was becoming so exhausted.
Yeah.
Because it can be very exhausting. There was this real estate convention that was going on, and one of the speakers was going to be Tony Robbins. So I said, you know what? I might as well. I'm here, and what do I have to lose, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the convention, and his words were resonating with me very, very clearly. Like, some people are not thriving because they choose not to. They think that life is about suffering and we have to take our power back. And the state where we are is what attracts everything in our lives and the energy. And it just resonated so much with me that it was like a little seed that was planted. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, that was the beginning of it for me to start being conscious that the inner work I had to do it from the inside out.
Yeah.
And during that convention, there was another person that was also doing a workshop that I resonated with because it said, coach yourself to success. And it resonated because we don't need anything outside. We just need ourselves to try to feel that we are enough, right? So I signed up for their weekend workshop, and that's where a lot of things started coming up, and even emotions that I hadn't dealt with, still feeling upset and angry towards my relationship and feeling that I was the victim. And in order for me to move forward, I needed to forgive myself, and I needed to go through this healing journey of acceptance, of forgiveness, of discovery. And there was a lot of resistance. It was like, oh, I don't want to do this. I get so angry and upset. But then that was another seed that was planted, going through the whole healing of knowing that I am capable of creating my own reality. During that time, I was like, I've gone through so much during this year, and I'm still learning. I mean, I'm sure there's so many women and people that are going through this thing that if I could give them a little bit of hope and advice and tell them that it's going to be okay, and it just takes courage to be strong enough to leave a situation and take your power back, it has to be worth something.
Yeah.
So that's a realization that I said, you know what? I've always liked helping people. That's why I signed up to be at the hotel and restaurant, career. Didn't work out for me, but I know I have that passion to help others. why can't I focus it on helping others change people's lives? And then it was more of a, that this inner work was more of a journey also to help me help other people, but not before doing myself work, me doing the work first.
Yeah.
And, trying to figure out how to do it and stuff, that's also been a journey in itself. But knowing that I finally realized that I had something that I could give to the world was so relieving. It was like a burden lifted off my shoulders. It was like a weight that I had been carrying for so many years, wondering, what am I good at? What are my talents? What is that I'm my purpose in this world?
Yeah.
And I had been carrying all these years, and I was thinking that I wasn't good at anything. I wasn't an actress. I wasn't a singer. I wasn't this. I wasn't the other. I didn't have all this outward talent. And I was comparing myself and setting that standard of what I thought were talents that were needed in the world to be successful. But I think also this journey has taught me that everyone, no matter how small it is, you have something to give to this world that the world needs. And sometimes we just compare with others and what we want in other people, but we are so distracted by thinking outside and looking outside and comparing ourselves to others that we forget the essence of what we are, who we are, and what we can give to others.
Yeah.
And this was really hard for me because I didn't know what I was good at, believe it or not. And I was getting old, and I said, wow, Paola doesn't even know what I'm good at. But it took me a while, and knowing that I like helping people, that's already something that it's a plus in me trying to help others, having a desire to help others, being a good listener, being a place where I can be of not just give advice, but also people also need to be heard in this world.
Yeah.
There's so many people that go through life not being understood, not being heard.
Yes.
And it makes such a difference to know that somebody can listen to you. Because I've been through that. I didn't need any advice. I just needed a shoulder to cry on. So I just needed to just vent.
Yes.
And it felt so much better. It was like inner therapy. Don't tell me a word. Don't say a word, but just listen to me.
Yeah.
And
I think when you go through your journey, and it's so important to have that person to support you when you're in that being very stuck and not knowing what you want to do. Having a coach or having someone, a support there is so important. Having a coach is really good, but as you were saying, you had coaches and mentors which didn't align with you. So it's so important to find that person which you're like, yes, they resonate. When you went to listen to Tony Robbins, it's like, yes, that resonates with me. You have to find that person, and that person, you need to feel safe, because I've had a coach before, and I didn't feel nurtured and loved. Right? I had a male coach, and he was very masculine, and you got to do this and let go of your anxiety and da 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 da. But it's just, I think as women, we need that nurturing, we need that love, we need to feel safe, we need to be trusting. So it's just so important to have that support. And also having a coach allows you to work through things, because they will shine that mirror in your face going, you need to work on yourself, right? And I'm not saying that because we're both coaches, but we've been there, right? We have coaches ourselves, so we know the importance and how valuable they are, and for us to then return this favor now by serving as coaches as well.
Yes. Yeah, you brought up a really important point about knowing who your coach is, because you can also have a female coach, but that they're very in their masculine, and there's the pressure of I have to do this, but you don't feel understood. I went through that too. I had a female coach, but she was very rigid and so much pressure, and you have to get it done, that I didn't feel that I went through the process that I needed to in order to realize who I was.
Yeah.
And that put out a lot more of anxiety that I didn't need. Of I have to do it by this time. If not, nothing is going to work out. And I think sometimes we forget that you have to be in alignment. When
Yes.
you're in alignment with who you are, what it is that you're doing in this world, it doesn't matter what other people tell you how to do it. You will know that your intuition is telling you something else. And
Yeah.
that was a big lesson for me, because you can spend a lot of money on these coaches that are going to give you results, but if they're not aligned to who you are as a person, it's going to be a waste of money.
Yes.
And then I've had some male coaches that were very into the balance of the masculine with the feminine.
Yes.
Right? For all our listeners, you don't have to be a female to not to be. Yes. The energies are. It doesn't matter whether you're female. It's not a gender thing.
Yeah.
Right?
We both have masculine and feminine. Yeah. No matter
exactly.
if you're a guy or a girl, you have both. Yeah.
Exactly. But sometimes the masculine is go, 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 go. And the feminine is have that balance and know who you are, so that you can be in total alignment. Because when you're out of balance, you don't, it's hard for even people to see who you truly are.
Yeah.
And they just see one side of you, and you're in the go, go, go. So it's also been a learning lesson for me to understand the journey of hiring coaches and knowing what coach I need to hire that resonates with me, that I feel that will understand me, will take me through the journey, because they are not just there for the money or for the results. They're there because they truly care about me as a person, as an individual, and they want me to be successful.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people, you go through the program and then they forget about you and you no longer exist.
Yeah.
And that's happened to me. And I'm like, hi,
yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm here. Yes, definitely.
Knowing that, and it was also an important part of the journey it's important to get the right mentors, because when I went through my process of separating, I was looking for a community that I could vent and feel and just have so many of my questions answered. And I was trying to look for Facebook groups, but the Facebook groups that I found were like open groups.
Mm.
And I said, oh no, I'm not going to have all my friends see that I'm posting in this group, because I don't know. I think Facebook back then didn't have the standards of private groups or whatever.
Yeah.
And I wish that I could have had that support, not from people that were in the same boat as me, as playing victim, because there's a lot of groups when you separate, it's like, oh, he's going to blame, and you just get into that energy of poor me and blaming.
Yeah.
And that could even be worse, right? But a group or people that can pull you up and make you realize that life goes on and you are evolving and that you're growing, and this is an opportunity for you to become a better person.
Yeah.
Instead of living in the past and thinking that past is going to determine your whole entire life.
Yeah.
Right? So it was good my journey took me to LA. It doesn't necessarily have to take people to other countries.
Yeah.
You know, the change actually comes within you, and you can stay in the exact same place, but know that the change is happening because you are deciding to change your reality, even if you're stuck in the same place. And right now, going through the whole process that we can't travel, we can't move.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse to not do the work, to do the inner work. And I know I miss traveling, but
Oh,
I'm
yes.
here for a reason. Maybe focus on things that I haven't given much attention to, but that I have to. And changing that part within you will change your environment, the people that surround you, your relationships, the way you view life. And it just gives you a different outlook on how you can react
Yeah.
to the things that life is bringing our way. Even as bad as they may seem, there's always something that we can do to make the best of that situation. But
Yes.
that's entirely up to us.
Yeah.
And we have to make that choice. We have to decide that we are going to either be grateful for it or we're going to complain.
Yeah.
Either we're going to take action or we're going to stay in the same place. We're going to do the things that seem uncomfortable or procrastinate,
Yes.
right?
And you always have a choice. There's so many people that think they don't have a choice, that they're stuck that's the way they are, and that's how life is, because that's how life has always been. My mother was like that, my father was like that, my grandma, and it goes back generations and generations. But you are your own person, right? Yes, we are all connected, but you have that choice to leave and change your destiny. You don't have to live that same life as everyone that's around you, and you're thinking, how do I even get out? You have that choice to go and find another group of people that can, as you say, lift you up and take you to a higher vibration.
Totally, totally. It's so important to be surrounded with people that can help you get to where you want to be, because
Yes.
a lot of us are stuck because we're surrounded by the same people that don't want us to grow, that don't accept who we're becoming.
Yes.
And that can pull us down and keep us stuck because we think that's all our world.
Yeah.
But when I started losing friends, I realized there's, I don't know how many billion people on this planet. Why am I holding on to just a handful of people that are not serving me?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And I know it's hard to start all over, even in the dating world. Start dating again, going on dates, dressing up. It's exhausting. For all the women can resonate with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't even want to go through that. And I got tired of that as well. But you have to, in order to have different outcomes, you have to do different things.
Yes.
And sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable to do those things.
Yes.
But the results are that you're going to be a happier person. You're going to find the strength, the courage, the option, the creativity to figure out a way out, because it doesn't matter what you're in, what situation you're in. It doesn't matter, like you said, whether you think your parents were at fault, your great grandma, your grandma, your kids, or you have kids and you don't have money. That might be your current reality, but that doesn't have to be your eternal reality.
Yes.
And it's choosing from that moment that you are not going to let this current reality become your entire reality. That's where you start choosing. That's where you start making decisions. That's where you start focusing on what you want instead of what you don't want.
Yes.
And a lot of us live through life like, oh, I don't want this. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, no, no, no. And we retract ourselves instead of saying, I want this. I want to be happy. I want that job. I deserve that job.
Yeah.
I deserve a good relationship. I want a man that can take care of me and respect me. I deserve it. So your energy in your body starts changing.
Yeah.
It's not contracting. It's not saying, no, 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 everything is bad, but more like you open up. You
Yes.
open up to possibilities. You open up to ideas. You open up to opportunities that you could not find any other way.
Yeah.
So it's so, so important to change this mind before. The mindset is so important in order to let it become a reality.
Yeah.
Because if not, we can live in our own prison forever.
Yep.
And I think both of us have been there, right?
Yes.
We live in our prison.
Yeah. And, you know, they always say success is 80% mindset and 20% action. So the mindset is a lot more important than the action. You still need to take action though, but it is 80% of it is your mindset. So Paola, having gone through everything that you've gone through, you've already mentioned it before. What is your personal mission? What are you here on this earth to do?
Well, I believe that now I help people transform themselves. It's my passion to encourage, let people see that there's so much more to life than just being that our current reality. It's about transformation. It's about finding your purpose. It's about living. It's about being happy. We're all striving to be happy and have love in our lives. And I don't want people to settle for things that are not meant for them. Let's not settle. It's about transforming ourselves so that we can really live the life that we have. We only have one life. And if we waste our time living in the scarcity and the things that we don't have, we're going to be miserable. So I'm all about transformation. I'm all about looking into the future to change our reality, to find that passion, to wake up feeling inspired, motivated, knowing that we're doing something with our lives and we're changing our surroundings, we're changing the environment, we're changing our life, and we're changing ourselves. Because at the end, if we don't change who we are, we're not going to find that happiness in the outside. Like material things are going to give us temporary happiness, but true happiness comes within. So I'm all about transformation.
Yeah.
Transformation, finding your passion, finding your purpose, lighting up that light within you that gives you that passion and motivation to serve, to live, to be happy, to enjoy life. And I think we need more of that right now.
Yes.
To be happy. Happiness is so important.
Yeah.
Being positive, despite everything that's going on, we can still be positive.
Yes.
And if we can raise that vibration of the planet, if more people can feel gratitude, that more people are feeling that there's a purpose for this, I think we can change so much in our communities, in our world, in our environment. And that's what I'm all about. It's about not focusing on the negative, but really focusing on the things that we can control. And the things that we can control, it's our personal reality.
Yeah.
Well, we can't control anything else right now.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But you can't control what's happening, but you can control your reactions. So I love what you're bringing to the world. It's just so great to be able to have someone there who can help others transform and have walked that journey. So understanding, it's that understanding how to help people get on their path and journey as well. So that's awesome. So Paola, I want to ask you, with everything that had happened with your journey, you mentioned you had teachers and mentors. Were there any particular tools or any particular teachers that were really helpful in your healing process?
Yes. Do you want me to mention the names, or do you want me to
if you want to mention the names, that's fine. Completely up to you. Yeah.
Having gone through so many mentors that were not in alignment with who I was, because it was also a journey for me to find out what my message was, what I wanted to give to the world, and maybe finding that my alignment was also being in tune with myself, in tune with this the universe, with energies. And you can call it whatever you want. You can call it God, universe, energies, it really doesn't matter because it's all the same thing. But knowing that having mentors, Regan Hiller, for example, was somebody that really helped me focus on my inner soul, who I am, finding my full purpose and being in tune with that. And we all have it within us. It's just that we're so distracted by other things, like I mentioned earlier. So now that I know that I really want to be of service and help and heal people, right? Help people find their purpose. It's about alignment. It's about being in tune with things that we weren't aware of. So I cater to those mentors that bring the physical with the spiritual kind of thing, and they just put it together, because we live in the 3D world, but there's also so many things that we don't see and we're not aware of, that we also need to realize that also affects who we are.
Yeah.
So right now I'm all about maybe a little bit more of the holistic, bringing that part into the mentoring as well, because becoming aware of who we are, what it is that our souls belong to. It's a starting point to become more aware of everything else around us.
Yeah.
So I just mentioned one coach, but there's quite a bit.
And I love that, because Regan is also very dear to my heart. She literally has changed my life, and I've done quite a few things with Regan, so I love her dearly. So she's
as well.
And Wampa, her partner Wampa, they're amazing. I love them both so much. So Paola, I love reading. I don't know if you're a reader or not, but is there a particular book that has changed your life?
Yes. When I started with this whole journey, I started reading The Secret. I didn't really understand it, and it wasn't the right time for me to read it. And trying to find out about the law of attraction and this, I wanted to know more, but I didn't know where to start. And one of my mentors said, why don't you read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? And I started reading it. And honestly, I would recommend, for those that are starting on a journey of self-discovery and what they want purpose in life, that is a really, really good book, because it touches not only on mindset, but also how we can, things that I wasn't even aware of, right? Like the sexual energy that we have, and that we can co-create with that. And what are the qualities of a leader? What are the things that you should do, that you should stop doing, or you start doing? And it's a whole workshop of just internalizing and knowing that you actually create your reality, that you can think and grow whatever you want, but it starts in your mind, the power of the mind, and how all these people that have gone before us created impact and made a difference, because they also chose to not give into the negativity. They realized that there was something more powerful. And that totally changed my perspective. And actually right now I'm rereading it again. And for me, it's a new book. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't feel this, and I didn't see this. And it's like a manual, right? A very interesting manual of how to start creating your life through a different way that we've been taught. Because the schools teach us how to work, how to do this, but they don't teach us the internal part that we need in order to really be happy and successful and feel fulfilled. So this was a really good book for me that made me want to discover more, want to learn more, and look more into the quantum field and how our brain works, and the mindset. So that would be, I would recommend a good book for anyone that wants to start. reading
Definitely.
it.
And that's a book that I recommended to my husband when he first started listening to audiobooks and things like that. When he started on his journey, he was like, "Oh, what should I be reading?" He's not a reader, so he listens to books. So he listened to that and he just loved it. He was just soaking everything in. And I think he just recently re-listened to it as well. But I don't know if you talking about Napoleon Hill. I recently listened to his book called Outwitting the Devil, which is kind of,
Oh,
yeah. Have you read that one?
I recently, yeah, and I reread it again recently too.
Yeah, that one's
That is,
amazing. Yeah, it's very,
yes,
very advanced for when I mean, he was, I think, 1920s, I think, was he around
yeah,
there?
1930, late
Yeah, somewhere around
1930s,
there.
yeah.
But the thoughts and yeah, everything in that book is very like ahead of time and very
It's really
applicable.
relevant.
Very
It's
applicable
really
and relevant to
relevant to
now.
what
Yeah.
we're living right now
Yeah.
because he talks about how people are being controlled through fear, through this, to the other,
Yes.
and everything that we're going through right now is so real. And
Yes.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
that book.
Yeah. So I highly
We're in
recommend that book
alignment.
as well. I
Yes.
can't believe I only read it earlier this year. So, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's keep moving. So, Paola, can I ask you what you believe is the greatest lesson you've learnt in your life so far?
Hmm. Yeah. That's a that's a good one. I I think that accepting myself has been the greatest lesson.
Yeah.
Loving myself and like as I was saying earlier, I thought that comparing myself with others was something that I had to live by for the rest of my life, feeling that I wasn't good enough, feeling that I wouldn't be able to reach or be of service or influence because I had set standards of what I thought I needed to be. But once I learned to accept that I was unique, that I was brought into this world for a purpose and a reason, and maybe those talents that I thought were so needed, it weren't necessarily what I needed. So knowing that I can be my best friend, I can be my my partner, I can be my own coach, I can be everything because I know who I am and I know what I need. And learning to be in solitude with myself has really taught me that I don't need anyone else in order to make me happy. I don't need a partner to make me whole. Of course, it's nice to have a partner. I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I know that I'm gonna get the partner when it's the right time, but I'm not desperately searching and looking for someone to fill that void because
Yeah.
I already know and I've learned who I am. I don't mind traveling by myself because I enjoy my own company.
Yeah.
I don't mind reading a book and being there because I I I I know that that fills me up. And I also like people. I
Yeah.
also like people. There's a time and moment for that.
Yeah.
But learning to be with myself, learning to get to know me and loving myself has been the greatest lesson because I know that if I don't love myself, nobody else will. So I
Yeah.
might as well learn that lesson and say, Paola, you're the best. I love you. You're wonderful. You deserve everything in life
Yeah.
and be my own cheerleader.
Yeah. I
And
love
I
that.
think it's like a life, a daily thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I love myself a year ago and today I still love myself as much, right? It's constant. I have to keep repeating myself that
Yes.
I am the most important thing and accepting of who I am.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so important for women to hear that because most of us, I would say 90%, 99% even of women are not comfortable in their own skin. They don't love themselves. They allow other people to take their power away. And it's a societal conditioning where, you know, it's been very masculine, and we're taught to compare each other. Oh, this person has a better body, that one's smarter. So it's just so important to be comfortable in our own skin. So I love that. So Paola, we
Yeah.
touched on this already, but with everything happening in the world, you know, people in lockdown, we can't travel and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people really awakening this year, you know, and to start on their journey. What advice or recommendation would you have for them to get rid of any limiting beliefs or fear that is holding them back from even taking that first step to make that change in their life?
I think that it's important to practice gratitude wherever you are in life right now. When you start knowing that, even as we touched earlier, we can't control what's going outside of us, we can control what's inside. And when we start feeling grateful for the things that we have, you know, even small things that maybe we take for granted, our health, our family, our loved ones, the job that we have, or maybe the job that we don't have, because not everything has to be positive, right? Sometimes a lot of people have been laid off, but there's always something to be grateful, because maybe you were laid off that job to move you into internalize who you are and becoming the person that you need to be. So there's always something good in every situation. And we just need to find that little key to open up that opportunities of things that the universe and life wants to give us, right? There's not a problem too big that can't be solved. And if we focus on being positive, even when we don't feel like it, it's going to bring us it's going to change our whole cycle and the way that we view life. So I think I don't want to hit like a huge list of, you know, do these things, but if I can just give this message and say, practice gratitude.
Yes.
Say 5 things that you're grateful for every day, waking up or even before you go to bed. Just do this every single day. And I can assure you that you're going to start changing the way that you view things. And you're going to start finding ideas, opportunities, maybe, I don't know, the desire to eat healthier, to exercise, to meditate. Who knows, right? Because we're all in different situations.
Yeah.
But that has helped me. I, you know, sometimes being in lockdown and feeling that you can't go anywhere, it feels overwhelming. We felt very overwhelmed during this whole time. And the only thing that has helped me has been to really focus on my gratitude. My family is healthy. We're all over the place, but we're all in good places. We're safe. We all have a roof under our heads. We're all happy. We don't have anything that could keep us worried, or that we have to travel, and we don't have that insecurity at the moment, right? So little things, and I'm sure we can find, even, you know, for the yummy food that we have, for the fruit, the juice, the water, the phone call, even this podcast. I'm so grateful. I really am.
I'm so grateful that you're on this podcast. I'm just loving the conversation. And gratitude is part of my daily practice as well. It's so important. And I really do feel the difference on the days where, you know, the kids wake me up before I have my time to do my morning routine, and I'm a bit frazzled and haven't done my gratitude. I can really feel the difference. So I love that tip. Yeah, definitely. So let's take a bit of a turn, because I am all about self-love, and I know you are as well, because self-love was a big part of my journey as well. So as a busy entrepreneur, you know, busy mentor, what are your top 3 go-to activities that make sure you give yourself some self-love?
I like to do my facials. I like a natural treatment, so I do hair treatment and my spa, right? With
nice
oatmeal and lemon and yogurt and honey and all these things that are, that are really good. So I like to solve myself with that part and give myself time to do that. I also like reading, so I spend time reading. And what else? Well, I haven't been able to go out much or travel, but I used to really do that
Yeah.
to treat myself or get a massage. But just walking in nature,
Yeah.
I really enjoy. I realized that I love walking nature and listening to birds and finding my passion for trees. That I love trees, and I didn't realize I loved trees before.
Yeah.
But I really am starting to really enjoy nature a lot, and it relaxes me just looking at green. That's very relaxing. Going on walks, nature
Yeah.
walks.
Love that. Yeah. I always feel so calm and so like this sense of serenity when I'm out in nature and just going for walks. It really just really helps to put everything in place, I feel. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I've loved our conversation today, but I really like to know before we wrap up, what is setting your soul on fire right now?
Ah, creating impact, creating more impact,
Yeah.
letting people know that, no, not even letting people know, knowing that I can create impact, knowing that I can be of service, knowing that I'm enough, knowing that I'm here for a reason right now to help others, help my part of the world
Yeah.
become better. And just knowing that I can be of service, that I have a message to share, it's lighting me up because I know the world needs more of this. I
Yeah.
know that I've been maybe playing it low for a long time, but it's no longer that time to hide.
Yeah.
It's time to shine. It's time to be open. It's time to spread good, positive things into this planet. And that's what lights me up because I know that I'm meant for that. And it's something that I was refusing for a long time, but now I'm embracing it. I'm embracing it because I know that everything that I've gone through and everything that we all go through, it's for a reason. And if I can help people also find love, comfort, encouragement, faith, it's going to be worth it. It's going
Yeah.
to be worth all the struggles that I've gone through.
Yes.
And that really lights me up because I'm all about finding, helping people
Yeah.
be happy
I love it.
in a bigger, small way. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I've loved our conversation. You're so amazing. And thank you so much for sharing your love and wisdom with us today. If people want to find out more about you and how they can work with you, where should they go?
Well, you can visit my Instagram. I have two. I have one in English, one in Spanish. So you resonate with either one because I'm also bilingual. There's one, the English one is called Paola Frias. And my other one is I'm Paola Frias.
Awesome.
So you can find me in those two um, social medias. And yeah,
That's,
whatever resonates with you,
yeah.
I'd love to also support you.
Yeah, great. So I'll have all your details and any recommended resources from the show available in the show notes so people can reach out to you. Thank you once again. And until
Thank you,
next
KaKi.
time, yeah, thank you so
Thank you,
much.
KaKi. It's been so nice. I loved it. And thank you for having me.
No, thank
Also,
you. I've
really, really
loved our
grateful for it.
conversation. Yeah. So until next time, I love you, I believe in you, and you are worth taking that first step to the life of your dreams.